back with a Keto 101 video, and today we're going to talk about sustainability of your dietary lifestyle. And this is not just for keto, but because most of us watching this are probably in the keto sphere. There are things that make people drop off of diet, and sustainability is really important if you really want to make the long-term changes in your health. So one of the main factors that people actually will fall off the keto wagon or dietary wagon of whatever they're on is they get bored of the restrictions and they crave those old foods that they eat. They're still sugar addicts, they're still whatever. So their tastes are really driving them to go back to their old ways. Or they may actually feel like I've achieved everything I want, and they'll go back to the old ways that they were doing before they had the health issues, the obesity and things like that, because they felt they had reached their target goals. Then they end up putting the weight back on. They end up doing more metabolic damage or end up with autoimmune issues like they did before. So when you're doing a healthy lifestyle, you cannot get complacent even though that you have already hit your target goals and go back to the things that used to make you sick in the first place. You have to maintain your lifestyle. It has to be a lifestyle. So it doesn't mean that though when you are when you reach your goals that maybe once in a while you could be a little bit more flexible with your diet, but just be aware your diet led you to some lifestyle issues and diseases previously, and when you're on keto or one of the other diets, you're correcting those things. If you go back to the old ways, you're more than likely going to be going back to the same lifestyle illnesses and issues that you had before, or possibly even make them worse. A lot of people, when they flip-flop back and forth, they actually are more prone to gaining more weight. They're prone to greater amounts of metabolic damage because they're fluctuating so much, and it puts a lot of stress on the body. Now, the other part of sustainability is cost. A lot of people, when they go on to any kind of dietary plan, they end up buying a lot of things that they don't need, and they spend a lot of money, and after a while they can't afford it, especially if they're not seeing results right away. You're in it for the long game. So in order for your lifestyle to work for you, it has to be sustainable. You have to be able to financially afford it, so you have to make good decisions upon what you eat. Keto does not have to be expensive. There are a lot of ways that you can make the keto lifestyle affordable to fit in your budget. There are things that are very nutrient dense that, because their demand isn't exceptionally high for them, you can get at an affordable rate and maintain your diet. Obviously you want to make the better choices, but you may not be able to afford the best. So within your budget sphere, you make the better choices on the products that you get, the cleanest that you can afford or that you have access to. When I was out on the road as a trucker, I was out 300 and something days a year. I hardly went home. So what I had access to was basically whatever the stores had, which meant I couldn't get the cleanest quality grass-fed, grass-finished, massaged beef out there. I had to go, when I went to the store, I had to choose what was available to me in that area, what were the best choices that were available to me, and what were the choices that I could afford at the time. If my mileage was really low and I didn't have a lot of income coming in for whatever reason, weather was shutting me down a lot, or there was just a drop in freight, then I had to adjust my budget to accommodate that lower pay. So I may have had to go in and there would be a choice between the grass finished and the conventional, and I had to get the conventional because that's what I could afford. Or that's maybe what the only thing the store had. So you have to be very considerate of your own financial reasons. If you go outside of your financial zone, you can cause a lot of stress on yourself. You can eat things away and it may cause you to give up. And one of the reasons why I thought of this is because I was shopping at Sprouts one day when I was home on home time, and there was a lady there that was very interested in keto, and her friend was trying to help her. And these were obviously older ladies, and the lady said she had diabetes, and the other friend was like, well, if you're going to be in keto, you need to have this and this. And she was taking out all the Primal Kitchen supplements and the Epic and the, and the lady's looking at the cost of everything going, I can't afford this. If the lady is on fixed income and she can't afford this, then she's not going to stay on a healthy lifestyle. She's going to drop back on her old thing. So fortunately, I was able to interject. I politely did it. I said, hey, I've been doing the keto lifestyle for a while. Can I help you? And we were able to put some things into her cart that were very healthy, that she would eat, that she could afford. And we got rid of a lot of the supplements. And I actually explained to both of them where you can get the nutrition that those supplements provide on a lot lower cost. You could actually check out, like collagen is a supplement that I take a lot. But if you want a cheaper version of collagen, you can make bone broth. And we actually have a bone broth video. So if you don't know how to make it and you want to know an easy way to do it, we have a video on that. You can check it out. It's free and it can help you if you're on a budget thing. Sometimes going for the unconventional cuts of meat can help you out. If you are a meat eater or trying to go carnivore, you don't always have to go for the ribeyes and the sirloins and things like that. You can go and find the cuts of meat that aren't used as much and can be tasty. There's tons of resources online. We will be doing videos on some of this of the alternative cuts of meats and how to use them. You might want to check out our tacos de lengua, which is a way to do beef tongue for tacos and taco-like applications. Beef tongue is actually a very tender roast-like meat thing that takes a minor amount of effort to prepare it right, and it's very inexpensive. Organ meats, extremely nutrient dense, especially things like liver, very inexpensive. So you can get these things that are nutrient dense. Sardines are probably amongst the top nutrient dense foods out there that you can get and put in your diet. If the idea of eating those little tiny fish freak you out, know this, they taste like tuna. So if you mash them up, put them in tuna salad, you get the benefits of the sardines and less freak out factor. You can check out on the blog a recipe that I have for making super seafood salad stuffed avocados, which is an extremely nutrient dense meal in a small amount, very filling, that you're going to get a lot of benefit from on a vitamin and mineral standpoint. So make sure that it's financially feasible. Another reason why people fall off the wagon is having to do with like peer pressure. You go out to a get together with your friends or a family get together, and unlike having issues with drugs or alcohol, when you have issues with food, overeating, eating the wrong things that are causing health, people don't consider that. And if people know you're an alcoholic, they usually go, oh, okay, I'm sorry, and they try to keep that substance away from you. If they know you're a drug addict, they try to keep that substance away from you, generally if they're decent people. But when it comes to food, even decent people are like, oh, you could just have a little bit in moderation and things. But if you have issues with food addictions and things, the moderation doesn't always stay in moderation. And nobody really knows what moderation is. So, like they say, eat in moderations, but they don't tell you what the moderation is. The moderation for you might be different from somebody else. So the whole eat in moderation thing is a load of malarkey. And people will try to get you to eat what they're eating, enjoy what they're, because they feel like, oh, you're so restrictive, you're not living life, or whatever. Grandma wants you to eat her cookies, or so a lot of people, when they open that door to the bad foods that got them where, it clicks something in their head. They get that endorphin rush and they start craving it again, and they bring up these cravings and they fall off the wagon. Food, especially things like sugar and wheat, actually activate the same neural pathways as cocaine and heroin when it comes to the addiction standpoints. They stimulate the same hormone response in the body of producing epinephrine to make you feel calm and relaxed. It's just a smaller amount, which is they are very addictive. Whether or not people, we've seen it, whether or not people want to believe it or not, food can be very addictive, especially sugar and wheat. We have a lot of scientific evidence that. So if you're going to go and you're going to bend to peer pressure and take these things in, and you know you don't have a lot of control, you may be opening the floodgates to continue that behavior, and then you find yourself backsliding. And a lot of people have a psychologically hard time getting back on track. I tell people the wagon is slow. If you make a mistake, it's not the end of the world. The wagon's slow. You could easily run, catch up, jump back on, okay? And you can be right back on the wagon. But what impedes people, what the hurdles of catching up to that wagon, we have a cameo. This is P. Hi, P. One of the sweetest little cats of Carrie's around. So if you fall off the wagon, the problem is people will often, when they fall off, they will rationalize, well, I fell off the wagon yesterday, I had a cookie, so, I'll just have one more day, and I'll have another cookie or cake or brownie or this or that. And then one day becomes 2 days, and then 3 days. And if it's peer pressure that makes that happen, that leads into it, or even if it's just another form of peer pressure is marketing. And if you're going in, you see the store, and you see the ho-hos, the Twinkies, the ding-dongs, the candy bars or whatever, and it just, you succumb to it. When you do it once, it's really easy to keep doing it and then eventually fall off the wagon. And then also a lot of people will beat themselves up guilt-wise and punish themselves by having more of that stuff. It's crazy how it works. Food and psychology is a crazy, crazy realm. So sustainability is really important. You have to examine the factors in your life that will make the diet sustainable for you. You may have to get creative. You can, if you have questions about any of this stuff and how to do keto on a budget or with limited availability, you could always shoot us a message through our Facebook group, the Keto Kitchen with Carrie Brown and Yogi Parker, or you can IM us on Facebook or tag us in one of the groups that we're in and ask us. We're more than happy to help anybody out we can. You could also leave a comment below on the comment section, and we try to get to those and answer as many as we can throughout the day with all the other stuff that we're doing. So we try to be very responsive to that. So if you have a question, please ask, and we will do our best to answer. And if we don't know, we have a metaphorical Rolodex of people that we can pull up that are doctors and researchers in this sphere that we can ask and possibly find out for you. All right, everybody, have a great day. It's been a Keto 101, and make sure you guys are kind of nice to each other out there, because the way you treat others puts out a good energy, and good energy is important for your health as well. All right, have a good one.